During his time on Wall Street, Larry Benedict went 20 straight years without a losing year. But as you'll discover, Larry doesn't invest the traditional way. His approach has nothing to do with buy and hold, and it flies in the face of everything a financial planner would ever tell you. In today's interview, he's agreed to come forward and reveal his unique method, including the name and ticker symbol of the stock you need to get started. Larry Benedict, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Kim. I appreciate it.
Well, Larry, you are one of the few dozen people in the entire world to earn the label Market Wizard. In fact, a whole chapter was written about you in the best-selling series Market Wizards. We've got the book right here. And there you are, right after billionaire Ray Dalio. But from what I understand, your approach is different than Dalio, Paul Tudor Jones, or any other wizard.
That's right. It's unlike anything you've probably ever seen. I call it the single stock retirement. Put simply, it's designed to help you put your retirement on the fast track in any market using just one stock.
Okay, when you say fast track, what do you mean exactly?
I mean the types of gains that take most people years to make is possible to see in months, weeks, and even days with one stock.
Okay, now, Larry, I'm sure those watching at home are thinking, really? Just one stock? That's impossible.
I know. I don't blame you for being skeptical, but I've been using versions of this strategy for years, decades even. As a hedge fund manager, it helped me deliver millions of dollars to my clients year after year in all market conditions, and I continue to use it today.
Well, I've heard about and read about your historic run on Wall Street. From 1990 to 2010, you were perfect. During a period that included both the 2000 and 2008 crashes, you never had a single losing year. In fact, you did so well that your firm, Banyan Capital, made Barron's list of most successful hedge funds. And you can see it on your screen, folks. Larry's hedge fund was ranked 36th in the entire world. Now, considering there are over 10,000 hedge funds, that puts it in the top 1%.
I'm proud to say that we delivered $274 million in profits to our clients.
Wow, very impressive. But still, Larry, you're a legit market wizard. What about folks, well, like me, who don't have a 6 or 7-figure bankroll? Is this something we can do too?
Yes, and that's why I'm here today, Kim. You don't need to be a hedge fund manager to use this approach. Everyday folks can do this too.
All right, I like the sound of that. So you brought some examples with you, and these are everyday people who are using different versions of your single stock blueprint. And we have a few on the screen there. Chris K says, "Hi, Larry. I entered my first trade last week using your one ticker strategy and made a profit of 23% in just 2 days. Thanks for helping the common folks." Richard R. says, 93% profit in 8 days. My first one ticker trade and the best trade I've ever made this year. Thanks. Keep them coming. And Lawrence L. said, I have made 11 trades with an average profit of 32.4%. Larry, I believe you are the real deal. And there are many more stories just like these.
Well, these people aren't market wizards, Kim. As you'll see, I've designed this strategy for everyone. A few $100s is enough to get started.
And this is true even in today's crazy market. I mean, yes, the market's gone up, but there's still a lot of uncertainty right now. We've seen some big drops, and there's no chance your luck will run out.
One good trade is luck, Kim. Decades of proven success in good and bad markets. That's not luck. During the 2008 financial crisis, I had one of the best years of my life. And in 2022, when most people lost double digits, my readers could have more than doubled their return. And this year, my single stock traders have had the chance to crush the market again.
Well, I'm really excited to get to the bottom of this, Larry. If this approach is everything you claim it to be, this could be a real game changer for anybody at or near retirement. We're talking about a recession-proof strategy designed for everyone that's had success in bull and bear markets, which you believe could help folks fast-track their retirement. Folks, Larry's agreed to give you the full story. He'll reveal exactly how his strategy works. He'll lay out his track record. He'll reveal the ticker that you can start using right now. And you've even agreed to perform an over-the-shoulder demonstration. Isn't that right?
Yes, and I've got my phone with me. I'll show you how to use my method right here on camera. It only takes a few seconds.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Is your ticker a name that we'll recognize?
Well, I think most people will be surprised, Kim.
Really? Okay. I should also mention, Larry's also agreed to give us his latest forecast. At the beginning of 2022, Larry told a reporter all the indexes will be negative for the year. And that prediction was spot on. What's more, he's one of the few people to call the 2020 crash. He warned about it a month in advance and showed everyday folks how to profit. But now he has an even bigger and more important forecast, and you'll get it a little later in the program. And on that note, let's get right into your strategy, Larry. How does it work, and how did you discover it?
Well, it's kind of funny. I discovered it by getting fired.
Getting fired? Really?
Yes. See, I've been a professional trader for 40 years. I've had a great career, but I got off to a horrible start. In my first 2 years, I got fired more times than I could count.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's funny looking back, but at the time it was extremely frustrating. I would get hired, start trading, and lose money over and over again. No matter what I did, nothing was working.
So what changed?
Eventually, I realized what was missing: specialization.
And what do you mean?
Well, I was trying to trade everything, the latest hot stock, the latest trading system. I was like a chicken with my head cut off.
Okay, so you decided to focus on one thing?
Exactly. That became my new approach. Forget about 99% of stocks. Forget about the latest and greatest trading method. Find one thing and stick to it.
Well, it doesn't get much more specialized than that.
It doesn't, and it changed everything. Before long, I was making $1,000 a day, $10,000 a day, and then 100. And eventually, I was making millions for my clients.
It's fascinating. So I take it specialization is the first part of your strategy.
Yes, my strategy boils down to 2 rules. Rule number 1, diversification is for dummies.
Okay, now, Larry, I've got to push back on that just a little bit. I mean, I've done my research. You look at any mainstream source, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, the financial section of the New York Times, they all preach diversification. It's one of the oldest mantras in finance.
Well, how's that working out for everyone, Kim? Look at how the diversification model has fared nationwide.
Okay, we're looking at the median 401k for folks 65 and older. Just $88,000? Is it really that low?
That's it. And that's after a terrific 2023. And I have a few more stats to share with you.
Okay, it says that 55% of people are worried they'll never achieve financial security in retirement.
I think about all these people. They did everything right. They worked hard, they saved, they diversified, but they just can't get there. This is happening across the United States.
Wow, and we can see it there on the screen. Nearly 4 out of 5 people think we're headed for a retirement crisis.
We're talking about millions of people, Kim. And you know why? The diversification model, it's crushing people, Kim. That's why I'm coming forward today. There is a better way.
Larry, is it fair to blame all of this on the retirement system? I mean, historically speaking, the traditional retirement method has worked pretty well, right?
No, Kim, that's one of the biggest myths out there. Just look at these numbers.
Okay, we're looking at the S&P 500's long-term performance. This century, it's delivered around 7% per year. So at this rate, it would take you 36 years to turn $100,000 into $1 million retirement. Is that true? 36 years?
Yes, and that doesn't even account for inflation. If you factor that in, it's nearly 50 years.
Okay, so maybe that works if you're in your 20s, but if you're near retirement age, no way.
Well, compare that to my strategy. As you'll see, it's possible to make an entire year's worth of gains in a matter of days.
Wow. I had no idea a traditional method took so long, Larry. So no wonder we're in a retirement crisis.
I was lucky. I realized this as a young trader. You see, Wall Street figured this out a long time ago. At big Wall Street firms, they would never tell you to trade everything.
No?
It's all about specialization. Get this, at Speeder Leads and Kellogg, I specialized in a single index, the XMI.
All you did was trade that index.
Yes, all day, every day. It was my entire focus.
Spear Leads and Kellogg was one of the most successful trading firms in the world, and you were one of their top guys. Is it common to have such a narrow focus?
Yes, on Wall Street, everyone is a specialist. You have foreign currency traders, equity traders, oil traders. You even have grain traders.
Okay. Day in, day out, nothing but grain?
Yes.
Wow. Why do they do it that way?
Well, think about it. When you only trade one asset, you get to know it really well. You start to understand how it moves. You detect patterns you wouldn't otherwise see. And most importantly, you figure out how to make money from it in all markets. This is how Wall Street makes billions in trading revenue every year. You can see it in this chart, Kim. This is so important, Kim. As a trader, there are no bad markets. Billions of dollars are up for grabs every year. And the best way to get a portion of this is with a targeted trading approach.
Well, I suppose you would know, Larry. During your time at Spear, Leeds, and Kellogg, you were grabbing a big piece of those billions. You went an entire decade without a single losing year. Partway through your tenure, the company opened up a new trading department, and they put you in charge and named you special limited partner. So when you talk about a targeted approach being a boon to Wall Street traders, I take it you're talking from personal experience?
I am. I've seen it with my own eyes, and it's not just me and my Wall Street colleagues, Kim. Many of the best investors use a targeted approach. Take Warren Buffett, for example.
Really? I thought his firm, Berkshire Hathaway, was diversified across a wide range of businesses.
Read this quote from Buffett, Kim. It's shocking.
It says, if it's your game, diversification doesn't make sense. It's crazy to put money into your 20th choice rather than your first choice. It's the LeBron James analogy. If you have basketball phenom LeBron James on your team, don't take him out of the game just to make room for someone else. Wow, I had no idea Buffett felt that way. And here's another one. He says diversification is protection against ignorance. It makes little sense if you know what you are doing. And does he practice what he preaches?
Absolutely. Around 2/3 of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio is invested in just 4 stocks.
Interesting.
And you see it over and over, Kim. Look at bond king Bill Gross. He became a billionaire just by trading bonds. And look at Peter Thiel. He made more than $1 billion from one stock, Facebook. There are so many examples just like this.
Okay, forget about becoming a billionaire, though. If I could just grab a few $1,000s a month from that pile, I'd be more than happy.
You can, Kim, with a targeted trading strategy that is 100% possible. Obviously, there is always risk, but my track record is living proof. You don't have to put off retirement. You can start making money today.
Now, I know you're going to discuss the name of your ticker in just a moment, but first, tell us about the second rule.
Okay, rule 2 is use options.
Oh, now, Larry, you know the mention of that word sends a chill down a lot of people's spines.
I know, but most people have been told you're not cut out for options. Leave them to the professionals.
You think that's garbage?
Listen, I've been trading options since the 1980s. I got my start in the pits of the CBOE. It's the largest U.S. options exchange, and I've been trading options ever since. Here's what I can tell you. Options are a dream come true for everyday folks, especially in a crazy market.
Why is that?
Because options work whether stocks are going up or down. All it takes is a small move in a stock in either direction for you to potentially see huge winners.
That's all it takes?
Yes, take one of my trades in my high-end research service. A while back, I recommended an option trade. Over the next month, the underlying stock soared as much as 18%.
In a month? That's not a small move, Larry. That's a big one.
It is, but guess what? The option delivered a 300% gain in just 4 days. In other words, my readers had the chance to make 16 times more money in a fraction of the time.
Is that an extreme example?
No, look at another trade I issued. This time around the underlying stock fell 5%.
And what did your option recommendation deliver?
That option had a 120% return in just 9 days. That's the power of options. They create a multiplier effect.
I see. In other words, an option can take a small move in either direction and multiply it by 5x, 10x, even 20x or more. You can potentially make hundreds, thousands, and in your case, millions of dollars very quickly.
That's right. And with my single stock retirement, I've made it as easy as possible. All you'll have to do is focus on one ticker.
So you can forget about all the different market sectors. You can ignore earnings reports, Fed announcements, those talking heads on CNBC. The only thing you have to pay attention to is one ticker.
Exactly. Like I said, I've been using options and other supposedly complex trading tools for decades. They've helped me see massive returns.
Wow, you aren't kidding. 286%, 327%, even 703% in just a matter of days.
Those types of returns are almost impossible to find in any other way. That's why when I launched my hedge fund, I built it around options. It made all the difference.
Yeah, we could see that. And like I said before, Larry's fund was ranked in the top 1% in the entire world. His performance was so good that he developed an international following. Your clients included the Royal Bank of Canada, the Bank of New York, and even the Saudi National Commercial Bank, among others.
Well, at the peak of my hedge fund, I was managing nearly $1 billion.
And yet you walked away from your hedge fund and shifted to helping everyday folks. Why?
I'm glad I was able to make money for all these folks. But a few years ago, my mission changed. I got tired of helping the richest of the rich. I wanted to help everyday folks, real people who need the help the most. So I started sharing my secrets with them, and it's worked out great.
Well, let's go through that, Larry. I want our viewers to see how it's working with real, everyday people just like them. Now, with your strategy, you said you focus on one stock at a time. So it's not the exact same stock over and over again, year after year, is it?
No, it's one stock at a time. That's the secret. I zero in on one stock. I use it for a period of time, a month, two, or maybe more. Then when conditions change, I switch to a different stock.
Can you give us some examples? We want to see this in action.
Sure, jump back to August 2022. This is when I first started sharing my single stock strategy with everyday folks. I zeroed in on ticker QQQ.
That's the fund that tracks the NASDAQ?
Yes, this is one of my favorite tickers to trade. I've used it for years to make lots of money in up and down markets.
What was it doing at the time of your trade?
Well, at that time, the market was going down.
Looks like it fell around 2%.
Now, for most people, that's a bad thing. But that's where my strategy comes in. Look what happened.
Your readers had the chance to make 19% in just 5 days?
Yes. Now, let me put the gain in context for you. For the past 25 years, the NASDAQ has averaged around a 9% gain a year. So you could have made more than 2 years worth of market gains in just 5 days.
Is this why you say that this strategy can put your retirement on the fast track? What normally takes years takes weeks, even days?
Exactly. If you're already at or near retirement, time is everything. Most people don't have 10, 20, 30 years to wait.
Right, they don't. If you can chip away at that time frame, it's a real game changer.
Well, let me give you another example. Jump ahead to the next month, September.
What was happening with QQQ this time?
It was still headed down. Once again, it fell 2%. My readers saw a 12% gain in just 2 days.
So just like before, you were able to flip a decline into a modest win.
Yes, you're right. 12% is a modest win. By itself, it's not going to change your life. But remember the time frame, just 2 days. That's the key.
Right, 2 days. Check my math here. Hypothetically, if you invested $5,000 and made 12% every 2 days, you'd make $600. 2 days later, you're up to $1,200. 2 days after that, you're up to $1,800 and so on.
Isn't that amazing? Obviously, you're not likely to hit it right every time. Investing always carries risk. But that's the power of quick trades. The money can add up fast. Let me give you one more example.
And when was this one?
The next month, October. Once again, QQQ went down.
Again? This must have been a brutal couple of months for the NASDAQ.
It was. From August through October, it fell as much as 17%. But my readers made money every month. In October, they could have made 23% in just 2 days.
So let me get this straight. During a tech bear market, you used a fund that tracks the NASDAQ to deliver one winner after the next in as little as 2 days?
Isn't that great, Kim? Had I followed the so-called retirement experts, my readers would have seen double-digit losses. Instead, they could have made thousands of dollars over and over again from a fairly modest investment.
Now, was this streak an aberration?
No, we were just getting started. Jump ahead to the next month. I saw an opportunity with the ticker DIA. This is an ETF that tracks the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's another ticker I've used a lot over the years.
What was it doing at the time?
Well, at that time, it was going up. The market rebounded from its losses and surged 6% in a month.
That's a pretty big move.
It was, but my readers had the chance to be able to do much better. I recommended DIA 3 times. Once again, each one was a winner.
19% in one day, 17% in 6 days, 23% in one day. So the macroeconomic environment doesn't matter? Up, down, sideways? Your readers had the chance to potentially make thousands of dollars in as little as 24 hours, no matter what?
That's right. None of it mattered, Kim. Remember, we're not investing the usual way. This isn't a buy and hold strategy. We don't have to settle for whatever the market gives us. We're making money now, no matter which way stocks are going.
Is this kind of performance normal? You must miss some trades, right?
Of course, these are some of my better examples. No strategy is foolproof, but the fact is, when you use a targeted approach like this, it is possible to do very well.
We can see some examples there on the screen. This year, you've seen 24% in 7 days, 22% in 7 days, 88% in 42 days, 66% in 6 days, 100% in 6 days, 69% in 16 days, 127% in 8 days, and on and on. So far this year, with all of your recommendations, you've delivered a return on cash of 69%. Compared to the market, that's unbelievable.
Look at that 127% winner. Think about how long it normally takes to make that following the market.
Based on what you said earlier, it could be a decade, right?
More than a decade.
And your readers had a chance to do that in 8 days.
Yes. Imagine how that could fast track your retirement, Kim.
Right. I mean, I'm thinking about all of these people that have been delaying retirement. This would be huge for them. Instead of pushing the date further back, they could actually move it forward. But what about the workload, Larry? How much time does this really take?
Well, that's the best part, Kim. We're talking about a few trades a month. That's it. Listen, we only live once. No one should be a slave to Fed announcements, to so-called breaking news on CNBC. With this approach, you can focus on the more important things in life.
So as long as you're up to speed on the right ticker, you can forget about everything else.
Exactly. You're starting to see why I'm so passionate about this approach, Kim.
Yes.
Do you see why I've been using this strategy for years?
After all you've shown me, it seems to make a lot of sense.
Listen, we're not breaking new ground here. Elite Wall Street traders have been using this approach for years to make billions. We're simply taking a page out of the same playbook.
So why haven't I heard about this before?
Think about it, Kim. If CNBC only talked about one stock, what would happen to their ratings? Can you imagine them saying, look, the truth is you can ignore 99% of all these
A
stocks.
fair point, right? Their whole business model is getting you worked up about every little thing.
Exactly. You could never promote a simple approach like this. They go bankrupt. The same with Fidelity, E-Trade, Robinhood, and all the rest. They want you trading everything all the time. That's how they make money. That's why this approach remains such a secret.
No, I just can't believe that you've been able to fast track the gains to the extent that you have. I mean, as a trader, I figured the gains could come fast, but I wasn't expecting just a couple of days. It almost seems too good to be true.
Well, I haven't even shown you the best results yet, Kim.
Really? There's more?
Listen to this. I have one high-end newsletter where we focus exclusively on one ticker.
One ticker the entire time?
The entire time. It's the only research service of its kind, as far as I know. Now, before I show you the results, please keep in mind, if you're just getting started, I don't recommend you jump right into this strategy.
This is more advanced trading.
Yes, you'll probably want to start with my introductory service. That said, the win rates we've seen this year are unbelievable.
Well, let's have a look.
Jump back to January 2024. It was an average month for the market. It bounced back and forth, gaining 1.6% on the month.
Okay.
But guess what? The first week of the month, I recommended a single ticker over and over again and went 4 for 4.
Every single trade was a winner?
Every single one.
It looks like your readers had the chance to make 7%, 6%, 12%, and 10% in single day trades.
And that's just the beginning. The next week, we did it again. 4 for 4.
I'm seeing 11.75%, 12%, 9%, 10%. Wow.
Well, we did this again and again all month. All told, we went 17 for 19. My readers had the chance to double their money.
It's incredible. Talk about fast tracking your retirement. That's putting it into hyperdrive. Was this a fluke?
No. In March, we went 14 for 16. And in May, we went 27 for 30 and on and on and on.
Wow. Going back further, it looks like using this strategy, someone who'd started with $10,000 had the chance to generate 95% returns for 2022. And in 2023, that number jumped to 114%. You absolutely crushed the market. And this was all trading one stock.
All with just one stock.
Of course, we all know the past doesn't equal the future, but wow, it's hard to argue with that kind of success, Larry.
This is the best way to make money in all markets, Kim. Even if you only trade a few times a month, the money can add up fast. You could be looking at thousands of dollars every month.
Well, it sure sounds better than managing dozens of stocks, shorting, trying to time the bottom, or any other approach I hear people promoting right now.
I'm just glad this one stock approach is working so well for everyday folks.
And we have a few more examples. Carolyn C. says, Larry, I am so grateful that you are sharing your wisdom with us. I am 84 years old and just did my first ever options trade, the DIA 1216 call. I paid $5.65 for it and just sold it this morning for $12.50, well over a 100% gain. I am looking so forward to learning from you and exploring a whole new world. Lou S. says, hi, Larry. You teach trading in such simple terms that a newbie like me is getting it. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. After a recommendation, Polly said, well done. Please keep them coming. You now have my attention, and I am on the alert now for all of your recommendations. Thank you.
Again, these people are not professionals, Kim. Anybody can get started right now, even if you have very little experience. It only takes a few seconds to place a trade. Here, I will show you.
All right. We're ready for that demonstration.
So I pull up my trading app,
Mm-hmm.
and it is right over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it logs on. I pick the stock, and then I pick the option. And just like that, we did a trade.
Wow. Okay. That was really quick. That's it.
Well, how long did that take? 20 seconds?
Maybe, if that, maybe less. You weren't kidding. That is really fast.
That's all it takes, Kim. With that one maneuver, you're ready to go. And as we head into a long-term, volatile, and difficult market, you are now positioned not only to survive, but to thrive.
I love that. So let me ask, is that your forecast? You believe we're headed for a serious rough patch?
Yes, I believe all index will be flat to negative for around the next 3 years. We've had several years of plenty. Now we're looking at several years of famine.
Well, I know you've written a lot about interest rates. Back in 2022, you accurately predicted that the Federal Reserve would issue a series of rate hikes, which helped trigger the crash that year. Do you see interest rates playing a role again?
Yes, the Fed is starting to lower interest rates. Most people think that's a good thing, but it can also create big problems.
What do you mean? I thought lower interest rates stimulate the economy.
Eventually, but oftentimes the Fed is too late. You see a recession first. You can see it on this chart. This is the yield curve. Without getting into the weeds, the yield curve goes up when short-term interest rates fall.
In other words, where the chart goes up, that's rates falling?
Correct. Do you see these shaded areas? Those are recessions.
So the last 4 times the Fed has lowered interest rates, it's triggered a recession?
Yes. On top of that, we have sky-high valuations. By some recent estimates, 90% of all of AI companies are overvalued right now. This is a bad combination.
Going back to your chart, it looks like some of these famine periods, as you call them, sent stocks tumbling and lasted years. You think we're in for something similar?
Yes, I don't think we'll see a full-blown market crash, but I think we'll see several difficult years. Those who aren't prepared could lose a lot of money.
And yet, you don't seem worried at all.
I live for times like this. I'm using my single stock strategy, and I'll continue to use it. It's perfect for what's coming.
So the big question is, which ticker are you recommending now?
Okay, here it is. It should be on your screen. This is one of my favorite tickers. I've used it before many times. It's perfect for today's market. If you trade it today, you could potentially double your money in as little as 24 hours. But this is just the start. I plan to recommend it repeatedly in the next coming weeks. I believe you could have several opportunities to see huge gains in very little time.
Now, you've put together a special report to help everyone get started. Isn't that right?
That's right. It's called the One Ticker Retirement Plan.
And just to be clear, this report is not available on any other website like Amazon. The only way to get it is through today's special offer.
That's right.
What's in the report?
The report breaks down my strategy. You'll be ready to start using it immediately. Remember, it isn't a one-time thing. The idea isn't to double your money just once and call it good. I want to help you fast-track your retirement. The goal is to show you how to potentially make money all year long in all markets.
The hardest part is finding the ticker, and you've already taken care of that for us. From there, it's just a matter of understanding how it moves, right?
Exactly. I'll show you how to use small moves to potentially make thousands of dollars over and over again.
Well, I'm just glad that our viewers can get started immediately. You showed us some of the incredible winning streaks you've delivered. Anybody who put modest investments into your recommendations could have seen hundreds, even thousands of dollars in a matter of days. And for a lot of folks, the chance to make that kind of money is a game changer, Larry.
Kim, the days of hopelessly watching your portfolio fall with no recourse, those days are over. The money is up for grabs in this market as we speak. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. You'll get all the details in my special report.
Plus, I understand you have some bonus material in your report as well.
Yes. For example, I'll also reveal your secret to risk management.
And I think folks are really going to like this because risk management is one of your specialties. During your time on Wall Street, you went 13 years with a maximum monthly loss of just 3.5%. And folks, I got to tell you, that's unheard of. This year alone, the entire market has posted bigger monthly losses multiple times. How were you able to protect your clients' money so well?
When you're managing around $1 billion, you can't afford to take huge losses. If the fund was down 1%, I get angry calls from my clients.
Yeah, I'll bet. A 1% loss to a billionaire is a huge number.
That's why risk management has become an obsession of mine. I learned to spot danger signs early on just from reading the tape. I'll share my approach in this research report.
And that reminds me of a quote in Market Wizards. One of your former interns said, "The things Benedict does mentally, other people need computers to do." I don't know many computer programs that can match Larry when it comes to protecting wealth. And you're going to want to learn his secret, folks.
It's all in the report, Kim. Plus, I'll reveal some other secrets as well.
Yes, like why not to be scared of volatility, why you should never risk more than you can afford to lose, why his strategy works in bull and bear markets, and much, much more. Now, I should also mention that you've put together a companion report, Larry's Guide to Options. Tell us about that.
I've been trading options for nearly 40 years. I've also been training and teaching for decades. In this report, I'll walk you through my unique approach.
And this is a golden opportunity, folks. You get to learn how to trade from a market wizard. This is like learning how to play baseball from a Hall of Famer. Larry walks you through the entire process, even how to create an account if need be. And most importantly, his specific method for trading options.
That's right. Like I said, anybody can get started trading options. It doesn't take a PhD in finance. That's a myth. You can access them through just about any brokerage account.
And if you've never traded options before, it's very easy to get approved. It's usually a matter of filling out a short one-page form.
That's right. In the report, I will show you how to trade them the right way.
Very good. Okay, so with these two special reports, you have everything you need to start using Larry's single stock strategy. But that's just the beginning of the help Larry's willing to offer you. He saved his biggest bonus for last. Can you tell everyone about it?
Sure. Listen, I know what I'm telling you is probably new. Most so-called experts all say the same thing. Trading is hard. You're not cut out for it. The best you can do is follow the market and hope for the best. That is all garbage. It is possible to make money in all markets. And to that end, I have a monthly research service. And right now, everybody watching can join for a special discount.
What's it called?
The One Ticker Trader. It's designed to show you how to use my strategies to make all the money you'll need no matter what happens in the market.
Larry, this is one of the most unique research services I've ever heard of. Let me see if I understand how it works. You'll zero in on a single ticker. You'll issue trade recommendations, each with the potential to double or more in a short amount of time. Then at some point, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, whenever the window closes, you'll move to a new ticker, and then you'll do the same thing all over again.
Exactly right. The aim is to help you fast track your retirement using one ticker at a time. Every month you'll hear from me. I'll provide analysis, recommendations, and more. You'll have everything you need to potentially start making the types of returns we've discussed today.
You'll do this month after month for the next year.
Yes, and I'll provide updates as needed.
So you'll issue both buy and sell recommendations?
Yes, both.
Well, obviously, past performance doesn't guarantee future returns, and all investing involves risk. But as you can see, there's potential for some extraordinary results. And what's more, with these plays, your risk is limited to the amount paid for the options contract. You get to define exactly how much you want to risk. That could be as little as a few $100s. Remember, too, that Larry's built his personal portfolio around this kind of targeted approach. There's no better endorsement than that.
It's my favorite way to trade, and it's by far the best way to potentially see some amazing gains in today's markets.
Now, let's discuss how to get started. As you can imagine, over the years, people have paid a pretty penny to access Larry's ideas and strategies. When he ran his hedge fund, you couldn't get access to his ideas unless you had a minimum account of $1 million. It was for multimillionaires and billionaires only. What's more, as we speak, people from all across the globe are happily paying thousands of dollars a year to access some of Larry's work. The good news is you won't have to pay anything close to that. Given that you're probably new to Larry's work, and given that you've probably never used an approach like this before, a 1-year membership to One Ticker Trader retails for just $4.99.
And I've arranged an even better price, Kim.
Oh, really?
Look, a lot of people are in a tough spot right now. Unless they fast track their retirement, they're going to be in trouble. I believe my research service can help, and I don't want the price to be an issue. If you join right now, you can get started for a fraction of the retail price.
Okay, am I reading this right, Larry? You're offering a more than 50% discount.
You're reading it right, Kim. You can get started for just $99. That comes out to just 27 cents a day.
Wow. Remember, folks, we're talking about a man who's generated hundreds of millions of dollars in wealth, who had 20 profitable years in a row, and who, according to Barron's, was one of the top moneymakers in the entire world. To access an entire year of his ideas for such a low price, that's a steal.
There's only one catch, Kim. I can't guarantee the price will be available for long. My publisher reserves the right to raise it at any time without notice.
All right, so please don't wait, folks. You should see a Join Now button on your screen. Go ahead and click that now. Here's a recap of everything you'll get when you subscribe. 1 full year of One Ticker Trader. As a new subscriber, you'll receive Larry's latest research immediately. Then you'll receive his next recommendation.
That's right. Now, keep in mind, my goal is to find the best trading setups. That doesn't always happen according to a schedule. Some months you'll get 2 or 3 recommendations. Other months you'll just get 1. But either way, the goal of each trade is to give you the chance to have sizable windfalls.
You'll also get Larry's special report, the One Ticker Retirement Plan, and Larry's bonus report, Larry's Guide to Options. Like I said, these reports are not available anywhere else. The only way you can get them at this price is through this special offer. Plus, you're also protected by Larry's 60-day satisfaction guarantee. Tell us, Larry, how does that work?
Well, it's very simple. I'm happy to say most of my subscribers love my research. I get positive feedback all the time. However, if for some reason it's not for you, that's okay. Just call our customer service team within the next 60 days and they'll give you a full refund on the subscription fee. And to make it even fairer than fair, I'll let you keep my special research reports, no questions asked. In other words, the risk is all mine.
Well, it doesn't get better than that, folks. Just remember, this deal may not be available for long, so please don't let this opportunity pass you by. Many people, even professional investors, are losing money right now. Larry's one of the few people who's given his readers the chance to see tremendous gains in this market. Now you have the chance to join him for an incredible deal. To me, you owe it to yourself to at least give it a try. Okay, that's all the time we have. I want to thank Larry Benedict for joining us today, and I want to thank all of you watching at home for joining us as well. If you're ready to get started with Larry, just click the button on your screen. You'll be taken to a secure order form, and within minutes, you'll be able to access all of Larry's latest research and recommendations. For Larry Benedict, I'm Kim Monning saying so long.